Another week, another movie you feel you've seen before. Deja vu, or just writers who got paid to mix old wine with water and soda in a plastic bottle. Or homage as they call it. Hi, this is Sudhish Kamath and you're watching FOMO Fix. Your designated driver for the weekend binge to make sure you don't pass out senseless watching something that you shouldn't. This week for Hype Check, I tried out another version of Groundhog Day, which isn't old wine, more like bottled Gomutra. On TV Gold, I have Landman, the new Taylor Sheridan show set in the backdrop of the oil business. Also on Heads Up, I have the new Vijay Sethupathi movie Ace that has a few laughs if you're adequately drunk to laugh at racist and sexist jokes. The comedian actually calls the heroine Papa, a baby, and a Malaysian character Noodles. Bro Yogi Babu, it is 2025, please hesitate. Thudarum has dropped and Mohanlal has brought back the 90s movie with Ilaiyaraaja music and a good fight. Finally, I have Duster, set in the 70s, created by J.J. Abrams. It is a car-loving action show that features Sawyer from Lost or Josh Holloway. So let's test drive these papas. Babies. I meant babies. Filmmakers continue to obsess over the time loop format made popular by Groundhog Day, where an unlikable protagonist lives the same day over and over again till he becomes a better person. There's nothing worse than being stuck in a time loop, except maybe Bhool Chuk Maaf. A film with no imagination that it offers absolutely nothing even remotely new to the format. Even Rajkumar Rao seems to be caught in a time loop, playing the same unlikable character in every film. Why does Hindi cinema continue to be patronizing towards small town folk? Yes, we know illiteracy, unemployment, superstition and blind faith is prevalent in small towns. After all, we've seen only a few hundred films about it in the last decade. So does this film have anything new to say? Not quite. On the contrary, after scenes resembling a satire on blind faith and small town naivety, Bhool Chuk Maaf in fact validates superstition and confirms your prejudices that these small town folks don't know any better. If you promise God something, you better deliver or he's going to stop payment. The likes of Bhool Chuk Maaf undo all the progress that films like OMG have made over the years. Don't get me wrong, faith is a good thing, but films like these only make you lose it. It's high time we as an audience send a message to the cinemas. The multiplexes at this point are mostly a monopoly. Weekend ticket prices are extortion and popcorn shouldn't be the same price as gold. A weekend family outing, no exaggeration, does cost more than a gram of gold. So if you have to spend a gram of gold, maybe save it for a film that deserves a big screen experience. Certainly not for a film that's been made many times before. Catch it when it drops on OTT in a week or two, but don't say you weren't warned. Billy Bob Thornton, John Hamm, Demi Moore, Ali Larter. Just the cast alone is enough for you to sample Landman that's out on JioStar. A drama set in the intersection of the oil and drug business. It's home territory for Sheridan to capture the way of life and show us a lesser known side of America, almost like a documentarian, giving us facts and figures of the economics and also fist fights, gun battles and explosions while keeping the drama matter of fact, no matter what the escalation. Just watch the opening scene and you know that Taylor Sheridan sure knows how to start a show. Billy Bob Thornton carries most of the load as the titular landman, the fixer for an oil company who negotiates deals, fights crises and knows the unwritten law of the land and when to look the other way. And there's John Hamm who plays the stressed out boss who might be living it up in plush homes, but the pressure of the business, that the mental toll is no less. The only issue I have with Sheridan's show is the male gaze and the over-sexualization of the female characters, even if they're only 17 years old. Though the writing feels lived in and candid, the show not just borders on, but full-on revels in voyeurism, making mother and daughter both drop their clothes at the slightest excuse. I can see guys go, wait, how's that a bad thing? Well, just that this show is better than that. We've just come to expect more from the prolific Sheridan. Not many storytellers have the gift of making their stories feel as immersive, and the gaze does take away and often distracts us from the more serious aspects of the show. If you loved Yellowstone, you'll like Landman. The whole season is out on JioStar, check it out. The new Vijay Sethupathi film, also starring Yogi Babu, Rukmini Vasant, is out in cinemas. It promises to be entertainer and tries to pack in laughs, action, heist and romance, but underdelivers. Many of the jokes are either sexist or racist, and Yogi Babu, who often plays the bumbling sidekick, is not the first comedian to be guilty of such jokes, but let's hope he's the last. If not for Sethupathi playing the foil, a lot of these jokes would be dead on arrival. The action is basic, the heist portions are packed with deja vu, and the romance needed a lot more heart. Like in Retro, it takes just one scene for the righteous heroine to undergo a change of heart and stand by the hero in his ways. Even if he's a lying, thieving con man, because as the logic goes, everyone else in that world is also bad. Ace is at best a guilty pleasure you can catch later on OTT, strictly for the love of Vijay Sethupathi. Maybe they arrived at the title Ace after ruling out the other cards like King and Joker, but given how much it understands women, maybe it should have just been called Jack. The much loved Mohanlal vehicle, Thudarum, the Malayalam thriller, has dropped on JioStar after its theatrical run. And it's surely worth 2 hours 45 minutes of your time if, and this is a big if you're a die-hard Mohanlal fan of course, and if you're completely okay that this crime thriller has no twists or any clever battle of wits in the third act. Just brute force and good old fight scenes. Thudarum is not in the Drishyam zone, though it begins that way, and in fact seems far superior in its excellent second act that's brimming with tension and suspense and also a couple of great twists. It says something about the film when the second act is better than the first and the third. In the first act, when Mohanlal as Benz is all restraint, underplaying his stuntman days, he tells a couple of policemen that the joy of watching movies is Ilaiyaraaja music and a good fight. By that definition, Thudarum delivers on both counts. It has the music, it has the fight, but it's more Kiridam or Gardish than it is Drishyam. Watch it with a lens of nostalgia for the pre-twist Mohanlal films and you might just have a good time. There's a lot to love about it, like your good old Ambassador. It may not be the fastest car, but it's vintage, it's perfectly serviceable and feels like home on wheels. Let's look at one last ride for the week. Duster, created by J.J. Abrams, out on JioStar, starring Josh Holloway, best known as Sawyer from Lost, is a 70s loving caper with the coolest needle drops and fast car action as a driver for a gangster has to team up with a spunky young black woman, an FBI agent hunting for his boss, and Josh Holloway finds his loyalties tested. I caught the first 2 episodes that are out and a new one would have dropped by the time you see this, and happy to report it's a lot of fun. Elvis sang "Don't You Step on My Blue Suede Shoes" and this show literally does that. I mean literally, but in a way that would also make fans smile. Duster also has one of the coolest opening credit sequences we have ever seen, so sample it for sure. As for me, I'm gonna go watch that 3rd episode now. Until next time, this is Sudhish Kamath signing off from FOMO Fix from my home studio for The Hindu. Have a fun binge, but don't get too high.